Chapter 1741 Chapter 1741 First visit to the Holy Land. On the peak of the highest mountain, there was a huge stone tablet. It was hundreds of thousands of feet tall, and there were strange symbols flowing on the stone tablet. It emitted a light curtain that divided the heaven and earth into two halves, separating them. That's the boundary stone. Ancient Moon Holy Land is a holy land for cultivation. The original Chi is rich, and the earth is beautiful. It's said that in the distant past, the powerful forces of Ancient Moon Holy Land joined forces and created 108 boundary stones. They were erected around Ancient Moon Holy Land, isolating it from the outside world to prevent the original Chi from leaking and affecting Ancient Moon Holy Land. Su Ran seemed to know the Ancient Moon Holy Land very well. Seeing that Lu Ming had some doubts, he explained. The boundary stone can only isolate the natural Chi of heaven and earth. It doesn't stop living beings from entering and leaving. Let's go in. Su Ran continued. The two of them stepped into the air. When they passed through the light screen, there was no obstacle at all. The light screen rippled like water, and the two of them passed through it. What a dense origin Chi! As soon as he passed through the light screen, Lu Ming could feel that the origin Chi inside the light screen was several times denser than that outside. Moreover, it seemed to be clearer to comprehend the heaven and earth laws here. It's indeed a holy land for cultivation. The cultivation environment is much better than the outside world. It's two completely different worlds separated by a light screen. Lu Ming was shocked. Ancient Moon Holy Land, its territory is very vast, bigger than many big states. However, those who can establish a sect in Ancient Moon Holy Land and take root in Ancient Moon Holy Land are all extremely powerful and terrifying forces. Without strength, it is impossible to obtain a place in such a holy land. For example, those emperor-ranked forces outside the Holy Land do not have the qualifications to establish a sect in Ancient Moon Holy Land. Because their strength is not enough, they will be expelled by the powerful forces of Ancient Moon Holy Land. Su Ren said. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Even emperor-level forces could not establish a sect in Ancient Moon Sanctuary. How strong was Ancient Moon Sanctuary? Su Ran had been to Ancient Moon Holy Land before and was familiar with it. He led the way, and the two of them chatted as they walked. Not long after, a vast building complex appeared in front of the two. Although it was far away, Lu Ming could still see that there were people coming and going among the buildings. It was very lively. This is one of the buildings in Ancient Moon Holy Land. There are many powerful forces in Ancient Moon Holy Land with many disciples. There are also many cultivators from outside of Ancient Moon Holy Land. These people will gather here to buy treasures and so on. It is very lively, Su Ren said. Lu Ming nodded. This building complex was like a city, except that there were no city walls. The two of them flew forward and landed on the ground. They found that the streets were crisscrossed and the shops formed a forest. The two of them strolled along the streets. So many experts. Lu Ming's eyes swept across the room and he was secretly shocked. He realized that the people walking on the streets were all experts. Their auras were thick, their chi and blood were like fire, and they were filled with saint might. Many of them were actually experts of the saint realm. Even if the others were not saints, they were at least half saints, and the lowest was a high-level martial royal realm. Saints were considered experts in the Azure region, but here, they could be seen everywhere. It's indeed Guyu Holy Land, one of the 9 holy lands of Yuan Mountain. There are too many experts. Lu Ming sighed. Bubbles pouted. Be good, Paoba. They'll take you out for a walk in a few days. Lu Ming touched Bubbles' small head. All right, Chirpy. Bubbles jumped up happily and skipped to the side to cultivate. Lu Ming went to the path understanding ancient tree and sat down cross-legged. Then, a saint weapon appeared in his hand. It was a great saint weapon. He planned to cultivate the 10,000 soldiers scroll. During this period of time, Lu Ming had been so focused on comprehending the chaos finger of tribulation that he had neglected to cultivate the 10,000 soldiers scroll. In the Azure continent, he had obtained the storage rings of a few absolute saints. There were many great saint weapons in them, which he could seal into his Bodhis acupoints. Lu Ming did not plan to seal ordinary bright saint weapons into his body for the time being. After all, there was a limit to how much they could improve. If he wanted to seal them, he would seal great saint weapons. Lu Ming's body glowed as he began to seal the great holy weapon. A great saint weapon was powerful, but it also placed a heavy burden on one's body. However, Lu Ming's current spiritual body was a medium-grade heaven spiritual body, but its strength was equivalent to a high-grade earth spiritual body. His cultivation had also reached the sage realm. It would not be a problem for him to continue sealing great sage weapons. Chapter 1742. 1742 The Sacred Land's Powerful Forces Buzz. One of Lu Ming's acupuncture points glowed. It was extremely bright, like a small sun. Then, the great saint weapon flew into the acupoint. Instantly, more than 100 spots of light lit up on Lu Ming's body, and a saint weapon could be vaguely seen floating in each spot. The chi of more than 100 holy weapons and combat weapons linked together, forming a powerful pressure. Lu Ming felt his acupuncture points swell. If his body was not strong enough, it would have exploded. Fortunately, Lu Ming's physical body was strong enough and he managed to withstand it. Slowly, the great saint weapon was sealed in the acupoint, connecting with the other saint weapons. 2 great saint weapons, but it's still not enough. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He had already sealed 1 great saint weapon before this, and with this one he had a total of 2. However, Lu Ming felt that he had not reached his limit and could continue to seal. Then, Lu Ming took out a great holy weapon and started to seal it. Cultivation knew no time, and 7 days passed in a flash. Lu Ming had sealed a total of 4 great holy weapons before he felt that his physical body had reached its limit. And NBSP, he then focused on cultivating the primal chaos tribulation finger. The cultivation of divine power techniques could complement the laws. The improvement of the divine power technique would also improve the comprehension of the laws. Naturally, Lu Ming would not slack off. After spending a month in the space-breaking flying shuttle and a few days of cultivation, his mastery of the primal chaos tribulation finger had increased. It had already reached 15%. One shouldn't underestimate this 5%. If a complete set of nomological laws was divided into 100 parts, it would be equivalent to an increase of 5 parts, and its power would also increase by a large margin. For a sacred art, the power would also increase with every slight increase in the heat. At this moment, the Jade Pool meeting began. The 2 of them headed in the direction of the Jade Lake. Not only them, but many people in the buildings were also heading in that direction. Many of them were young Heaven's Pride talents, which showed how attractive the Jade Lake Saint was. Not long after, they arrived at a large lake. The lake water was clear, like a mirror embedded in the ground. When Lu Ming and the rest arrived, they realized that there were already many people there. They were walking on the lake. They're all top-tier Heaven's favorites. Lu Ming's eyes swept across the crowd and noticed that each of the geniuses had a strong aura. Their chi and blood were like fire and their spirit bodies were extremely powerful. Many of them were actually heavenly spiritual bodies, and their cultivation had basically reached the saint realm. There are so many Heaven's favorites. Is the charm of the Jade Lake Saint so strong that she can attract so many Heaven's favorites? Lu Ming was very surprised. There were cultivators and martial arts powerhouses who liked beautiful women, but most people still focused on martial arts and were obsessed with cultivation. After all, the higher the cultivation, the longer the lifespan. Reaching the emperor level, one would have an almost endless lifespan, which was what many people pursued. But now, the birth of the Jade Lake Saint had attracted so many Heaven's favorites, which was strange. These are all Heaven's favorites from the emperor-level forces outside of the ancient Moon Holy Land. These people are not here just for beauty. The Jade Lake Saint is so beautiful that countless Heaven's favorites are attracted by her beauty, but most of them are here for the Jade Lake's resources. Each of the Jade Lake's saintesses is devastatingly beautiful. Since ancient times, many powerful Heaven's favorites have become her guardians. Many of these Heaven's favorites have great achievements in the future. Some of them even became emperors. They left many cultivation experiences and ancient scriptures in the Jade Lake. There are thousands of laws in the world, But the Jade Pool is said to contain the cultivation experience and divine power techniques of 50% of the laws in the world. Many of these supreme talents came for the cultivation experience and ancient scriptures. Su Ran explained, and Lu Ming came to a realization. The cultivation experience of a magical power technique that contains 50% of the world's laws? Lu Ming was secretly shocked. If that was true, then it was too terrifying. In that case, did the Jade Pool have the superpower technique or cultivation experience of the 10 ultimate laws? There are so many people here today. Let's go. A cold voice sounded. A young man in a golden robe with a noble temperament stepped on the air and stood above everyone. Ancient Moon Sanctuary's Wan family's heaven's favorite, Wan Tianlong. Someone exclaimed in a low voice as he recognized the young man. The Wn family. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Back then, in the 100 Clan battlefield, he had killed Wan Tiancheng, a prodigy of the Wan family. He had also obtained the Wan family's unique secret skill, the 10,000 Soldiers Scroll. Wan Tianlong's eyes were cold and arrogant. With his hands behind his back, he looked at the other heaven's favorites with disdain. Isn't he just from a Holy Land faction? What's there to be proud of? A red-haired young man near Lu Ming's group mumbled unhappily. He looked at Wan Tianlong with eyes full of fighting spirit. Many of the Heaven's Pride experts that came here came from Emperor-rank powers, and the majority of them were the strongest Heaven's Pride experts of Emperor-rank powers. After all, even in the Monarch-level forces, the heavenly spiritual body was extremely rare. For example, there was no one with the heavenly spiritual body in the Cloud Emperor Mountain. These geniuses were usually high and mighty, dominating a region. Naturally, they were proud. Now that Wan Tianlong was standing above them and looking down on them with cold arrogance, many people were naturally displeased. At this moment, a brilliant sword light shot over. The sword light faded and a young man in a gray robe appeared. He carried a combat sword on his back. His entire person was sharp, like a divine sword. It's a powerful force from ancient Moon Holy Land, the heaven's favorite of the Wilderness Sword sect. There were also people who recognized this person's identity. The powerful forces of the ancient Moon Holy Land began to send their heaven's favorites. Then, a bolt of lightning flashed and a young man in a long robe made of lightning appeared. Some people recognized him as the genius of the Thunder God sect. Yi Dongfang is from the Thunder God sect. It's a pity that he didn't come. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. Ga. At this time, two long cries were heard. Two golden rays of light shot over at an extremely fast speed. The next moment, the golden light disappeared and two huge three-legged golden crows appeared in the sky. The chosen of the Golden Crow clan. Many people's expressions changed and became very serious. The Golden Crow clan, without a doubt, was a terrifying force. Even among the many powerful forces in ancient Moon Holy Land, they were at the top, extremely powerful and terrifying. The Golden Crow race was filled with experts, and every generation would produce many heaven's favorites. The two three-legged golden crows scanned the surroundings and turned into two golden-robed young men. The 10th Golden Crow Prince. There was a cold glint in Lu Ming's eyes. One of them was the 10th Golden Crow Prince. Judging by his aura, he had clearly broken through to the sage realm. He seemed to be more than an initial bright sage. The other person's aura was even more terrifying than the 10th Golden Crow Prince's. From the discussions of the people around him, that person was the 9th Prince of the Golden Crow. Lu Ming. The 10th Golden Crow Prince's eyes were like lightning as he scanned his surroundings. Finally, his gaze landed on Lu Ming, and a cold, killing intent flashed through his eyes. Lu Ming was fearless as he looked at the 10th Golden Crow Prince. Chapter 1743. 1743 The Jade Lake Saint, 10th brother, what's wrong? The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow also looked at Lu Ming. It's nothing. I just met an ant. I'll find an opportunity to solve it myself. The Golden Crow 10th Prince said. The Golden Crow 9th Crown Prince nodded and didn't say much. Serenity. Hee, I didn't expect a waste like you would come to the Jade Lake. Suddenly, a contemptuous voice rang out behind Lu Ming and the group. Lu Ming and Su Ran turned around and saw a young man in a purple robe. He had his hands behind his back and was looking at Su Ran with contempt. "Tuoba Fei, you're here too." Su Ran's face darkened. "Of course I'm here. I'm destined to be the guardian of the Jade Lake. But you, a piece of trash who doesn't even have a heavenly spirit body, also came to the Jade Lake. It's really like a lazy toad that wants to eat swan meat. Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself?" Tuoba Fei sneered and his contempt grew. Su Ran's face turned red. He wanted to refute, but his talent was far inferior to the other parties, so he couldn't. "Su Ran, what's going on?" Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Su Ran. "This person is a heaven's favorite from an emperor-ranked force. He's close to Blood Jade Palace, and the two forces often have conflicts." Su Ran gave a simple explanation. Lu Ming immediately understood. It was obvious that Blood Jade Palace and Tuoba Fei's forces had a grudge against each other. Now that they had met, Tuoba Fei would naturally actively attack Su Ran. "What's wrong? A piece of trash who doesn't even have a heaven's spiritual body should obediently stay in Blood Jade Palace. Coming to Ancient Moon Sanctuary is only a disgrace." Tuoba Fei continued to sneer. Su Ran clenched his fists and the veins on his face twitched. He wanted to fight with his opponent to wash away his shame, but he knew very well that he was no match for his opponent. Where did this mad dog come from, barking here and there? It's so annoying. At this moment, Lu Ming spoke calmly. Su Ran was slightly stunned. Tuoba Fei's face darkened. He squinted and looked at Lu Ming. "Brat, who are you calling a mad dog?" "Who should say who?" Lu Ming smiled. Tuoba Fei's eyes flashed with cold, killing intent. "Kid, do you know that you have to pay a price for saying some words? Some prices are not something you can bear. The rabid dog is going to bite." Lu Ming said indifferently. "Brat, you're looking for death." Tuoba Fei's gaze turned even colder. He took a step forward and his powerful aura pressed toward Lu Ming. Great mastery of Bright Saint. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Tuoba Fei had reached the upper tier of the Bright Saint stage and had a heavenly spiritual body. No wonder he was so arrogant and looked down on Su Ran. If he was in the Azure continent, he would be able to easily crush the Divine Sun. "The Jade Lake has appeared." Suddenly, a cry of surprise reverberated through the entire area. Buzz. Ripples appeared in the sky, and then, a vast palace appeared out of thin air. The palaces were endless, as if they were in the void. Apart from the palace in front that could be seen clearly, the palaces behind were blurry and could not be seen clearly at all. It was as if they were immortal palaces. The Jade Lake had another name, which was the Jade Lake Divine Palace. The appearance of the Jade Lake Divine Palace attracted everyone's attention, including Tuoba Fei. "Brat, I'll let you off for now," Tuoba Fei said coldly as he looked at the Jade Lake Divine Palace. Lu Ming smiled faintly and did not take it to heart. At this moment, the gate of the Jade Lake Divine Palace opened, and a woman in palace clothes walked out. The woman looked to be in her 40s, but she still retained her charm and lithe figure. She must have been a devastatingly beautiful woman when she was young. "The Jade Lake's saint is coming out today. Thank you for your support." The voice of the woman in the court dress spread through the entire place. "I'm sure all of you know that the Holy Virgin of the Jade Lake is interested in choosing a guardian. Well, support each other and walk on the great path together. Of course, it's up to your fate whether you can become a guardian or not." The woman continued. The paragons did not make a sound. They just waited quietly. He was waiting for the Jade Lake Saint to appear. There are 9 Jade Lake Saintesses in this generation. I'll ask them to come out now. The woman in the court dress waved her hand, and another wave appeared in the sky. Then, many pavilions appeared out of thin air, floating in the air. In each pavilion, there was a jade table. On the jade table, there were dishes and wine. And at each of the jade tables, there was a peerless beauty. There were 9 pavilions, 9 jade tables, and 9 beautiful women. Each of them was devastatingly beautiful, like fairies descending to the mortal world. Each of them had their own charm, and their temperaments were completely different. "It's so beautiful." Not far away, Tuoba Fei's eyes were wide open, burning with passion. It wasn't just him, many people were the same. The Jade Lake Saintess was indeed too beautiful. Each of them was a rare beauty in the world. What was even rarer was that each of the Jade Lake Saintesses had a rare talent in martial arts and a profound cultivation. However, what surprised Lu Ming was not their beauty. Although they were beautiful, Xian Yanqing was definitely better than them. What surprised Lu Ming was their talent. All of them had heavenly spiritual bodies. Lu Ming was shocked. Some monarch-level forces didn't even have a heavenly spiritual body, but 9 of them had come from the Jade Lake Immortal Palace, and each of them was a rare beauty. So this is one of the powerful forces in the Guyu Holy Land? It's truly shocking. Lu Ming muttered. 9 pavilions, 9 saintesses. Today, whoever can get on one of the pavilions will be able to drink wine and discuss martial arts with the Jade Lake Saintess. The woman's voice rang out again, causing many people's eyes to glow with a burning light. There were only 9 pavilions and 9 beauties. However, there were so many heaven's favorites here. To be able to enter a pavilion was not only to be able to drink with a beauty, it was also an honor. Who is willing to come up and drink with this little sister? In the first pavilion, a crisp voice rang out. The woman by the jade table stood up and waved her hand. A jade ladder extended down from the pavilion and landed on the lake. Ha, then let me go first, ha. A loud laugh rang out as Wan Tianlong, the pride of the Wan family, stepped out and landed on the jade stairs. Then he walked up the jade stairs. Many people's eyes fell on Wan Tianlong, including the 2 crown princes of the Golden Crow race, the prodigies of the Thunder God sect, the Great Baron Sword sect, and other powerful forces of the ancient Moon Holy Land. However, these heaven's favorites didn't move. There were 9 pavilions, so they were not in a hurry. I've also taken a fancy to this pavilion. Please leave. A deep voice rang out. Near Lu Ming and the others, a young man with fiery red hair took a step forward and landed on the jade steps as well. His body was covered in terrifying flames. Get lost. Wan Tianlong's eyes gleamed coldly. A light spot appeared in his palm, and a great saint weapon appeared. He swung it at the red-haired youth. Heaven-burning flames. The red-haired young man let out a loud roar as he unleashed all of his cultivation. He struck out with his palms continuously, and terrifying flames formed into a pillar of fire that shot towards Wan Tianlong. Chapter 1744 Fighting for the right to drink. The red-haired young man's combat strength was extremely terrifying. His cultivation had reached the upper tier of the Bright Saint realm, and he had a low-tier heavenly spiritual body. What surprised Lu Ming even more was that the other party had cast a sacred art. A heaven's favorite of an emperor-ranked power like this was truly terrifying. A peak Bright Saint had already comprehended a sacred art. One must know that in the Azure continent, there were many old monsters who had been stuck at the great circle of the Bright Saint stage for tens of thousands of years, but they had not been able to comprehend a sacred art. Although this kind of genius had the same cultivation level as the remnant, he could kill the remnant in one move. Boom! Wan Tianlong's combat sword struck the pillar of fire, causing a terrifying tremor. The red-haired youth's body trembled and he was forced to retreat. Using 10% of your power to deal with me, you overestimate yourself. I'll go with you, Wan Tianlong said coldly. Spots of light began to light up around him. There were a total of 36 spots, and from each spot of light, a saint weapon flew out. However, they were all Bright Saint weapons. In addition to his great saint weapon, he now had a total of 37 saint weapons. The chi of the battle weapons converged into a terrifying sword chi, slashing toward the red-haired youth. The red-haired young man roared and used his sacred art again, blasting out a pillar of fire. But this time, the fire pillar was directly split apart by the sword light. The sword light did not stop and continued to slash towards the red-haired youth. The red-haired youth was shocked and quickly retreated, but it was still too late. He was swept by the sword light and his body was cut in half. He turned into 2 balls of fire and quickly retreated. They merged together in the distance with difficulty and returned to human form. However, his face was pale and his aura was somewhat weak. Although his spiritual body was a fire spiritual body, the sword just now had still injured him severely. Wan Tianlong laughed coldly. With his saint weapon around him, he continued to climb up the jade stairs. In the surroundings, no one stepped forward to fight with Wan Tianlong. Wan Tianlong was too strong. The red-haired youth's combat strength was already strong enough, but he still couldn't withstand a single strike from Wan Tianlong and was severely injured. Furthermore, no one knew how much power Wan Tianlong had used. Since there were still 8 pavilions, there was no need to fight with Wan Tianlong. When Wan Tianlong successfully stepped onto the pavilion, the jade staircase beneath the pavilion disappeared. "Young master, please sit." On the pavilion, the Jade Lake Saint smiled and personally poured wine for Wan Tianlong, causing many to be envious. "Holy maiden, please." With a wave of his hand, Wan Tianlong sat at the jade table with the jade pool's holy maiden and drank wine. At this moment, the Jade Lake Saint stood up from the second pavilion. She also raised her hand and a jade ladder formed. "Which young man would like to drink with this little sister?" A melodious voice sounded. "This lay will drink a cup with you, miss." The heaven's favorite of the Thunder God sect laughed and moved like a flash of lightning. The next moment he appeared on the jade steps. Then he looked around and said, "Who wants to compete with me? If not, then this cup of wine will belong to me. I'll fight you." A voice was heard as a sovereign stepped onto the jade stairs. At the same time, a spear radiance burst out, piercing the air and stabbing towards the sovereign of the Thunder God sect. This young man's combat strength was definitely strong as well, not weaker than the red-haired young man from before. Thunder Punishment Hand. The paragon of the Thunder God sect waved his palm. Endless lightning flashed and condensed into a huge thunder palm print, which smashed toward the young man. Boom! The spear radiance shattered and the young man was blasted off the jade steps without any resistance. His entire body was charred black and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. He was severely injured in one move. What terrifying battle strength! Many people gasped. Was this a heaven's favorite from a powerful faction in ancient Moon Holy Land? Their combat prowess was simply too strong, easily crushing the geniuses of the other emperor-ranked powers. The level of the spirit body is the same, but the cultivation level is stronger, and the mastery of the divine art is deeper. Lu Ming's eyes were burning. He could tell that both Wan Tianlong and the prodigy of the Thunder God sect had reached the peak of the sacred brightness stage. Although their spiritual bodies were still low-tier heavenly spiritual bodies, their abhijnas were more advanced. With a higher cultivation base and more powerful divine abilities, he could easily crush the other chosen. Many of the heavens' favorites from the emperor-ranked forces had ugly expressions. If the heavens' favorites from ancient Moon Holy Land were all so strong, what chance did they have? The paragon of the Thunder God sect showed his powerful strength. No one dared to fight with him. He stepped into the pavilion easily and drank with the Jade Lake Saint. Then, the saintess in the third pavilion formed a jade ladder like before. This time, a golden light flashed and the 9th Prince of the Golden Crow stepped onto the jade stairs. The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow was extremely arrogant. He looked around and no one dared to fight. The Golden Crow race was incomparably powerful to begin with. The 9th Crown Prince's aura was oppressive, and no one dared to fight him. He easily ascended the 3rd pavilion. Following that, the 4th pavilion was also stepped onto by a heaven's favorite from a powerful ancient Moon Holy Land faction. This faction was called the Purple Extreme Sect. The paragon of the Purple Extreme Sect was also extremely powerful and unfathomable. He heavily injured a paragon who went up to fight with one move and stepped into the pavilion. Then, in the 5th pavilion, the young man with a sword on his back from the Wilderness Sword Sect stepped onto the jade ladder. I don't believe that all the geniuses from ancient Moon Holy Land are this strong. This pavilion is mine. A young man shouted and rushed up the jade ladder, trying to compete with the Wilderness Sword Sect. Buzz! The sound of a sword rang out. Then, everyone saw a flash of sword light. Following that, the young man who had gone up to fight for the sword retreated frantically. He retreated a few thousand meters and stood in the air, motionless. The next moment, a bloody gash appeared on the young man's glabella. Then, his body was cut in half and fell into the lake below. He was dead. A heaven's spiritual body was killed just like that. Everyone only saw a flash of sword light. It was so terrifying. The heaven's favorite from the wilderness sword sect looked cold and emotionless. He stepped up and no one dared to fight for it. He entered the pavilion smoothly. There were already 5 pavilions that had been occupied. Then, the 6th and 7th pavilions were all occupied by the geniuses of the ancient Moon Holy Land. The geniuses of the Emperor-ranked forces outside the ancient Moon Holy Land didn't even step into a single pavilion. At this moment, everyone's gazes were cast towards the last 2 pavilions. There were only 2 left, and almost all of the geniuses from ancient Moon Holy Land had stepped onto it. The remaining people didn't seem that strong, like the Golden Crow's 10th prince. When the jade stairs to the 8th pavilion appeared, a few figures rushed up at the same time. One of them was the 10th Golden Crow Prince. Get lost! The 10th Golden Crow Prince was extremely domineering. His entire body was covered in the flames of the great sun. With a single swipe of his claws, the sky was filled with flames. The cultivation of the 10th Golden Crow Prince was at the great circle of sacred brightness. You're the one who should get lost. The others weren't weak either. They unleashed their cultivation and fought with the 10th Golden Crow Prince. For a time, it was difficult to determine who was superior in the battle. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, another 5 or 6 figures rushed up the jade stairs, making the battle even more intense. This was the most intense battle. Those who had stepped onto the jade stairs before were all too strong. They completely crushed the others and couldn't fight. But now, there was no one who could completely suppress them, so the battle was naturally intense. Everyone wanted to fight for one of the last 2 pavilions. Chapter 1745, 1745 Chapter 1745 One Punch One Kill. There are so many heaven's favorites. Lu Ming was also watching. Any one of these heaven's favorites could easily crush the divine sun. If they were placed in the Azure continent, they would be the heaven's favorites of the entire continent. No one would be able to defeat them. But here, there was a pile of them. The battle went on for half an hour. In the end, a peak bright saint, a heaven's favorite from outside the Holy Land, stepped into the pavilion first. Although this proud son of heaven's cultivation had also reached the peak of a bright saint, his combat strength was obviously lower than Wan Tianlong and the others. He could not crush them, so it took him a lot of effort to get onto the pavilion. Damn it, the last pavilion is definitely mine. The 10th Golden Crow Prince didn't step onto the pavilion and was in a bad mood. There was only 1 pavilion left. Everyone's eyes were on the last pavilion. Some of the heaven's favorites who didn't fight just now showed their battle intent, like Tuoba Fei. When the 9th pavilion's jade stairs descended, at least a dozen figures rushed up the jade stairs. Get lost! Kill! Roars rang out as a dozen heaven's favorites started to fight. Tuoba Fei also joined the battle and tried his best to charge forward. As long as he was the first to reach the pavilion, he would win and the others would retreat. However, none of the other heaven's favorites were weak. None of them dared to compete for the position. Needless to say, they had the heavenly spiritual body and their cultivation had all reached the upper tier of Bright Saint. If they did not have the combat power to suppress the others, it would be difficult for them to make it. All sorts of light glowed as sacred art techniques burst forth and collided intensely. Symbols flickered on the jade stairs and the pavilion. The terrifying force was offset when it landed on them. Gah! The Golden Crow let out a cry as the 10th Golden Crow Prince transformed into his 3-legged Golden Crow form. His wings were like blades, and he was suffused with the Grand Sun True Fire. He was extremely terrifying, and normal heaven's favorites of the same level weren't his match. Tuoba Fei was also fighting with all his might, but in the end he was sent flying by the Golden Crow 10th Prince's claw. He was sent flying in the air, and even his hair was on fire. Detestable! Tuoba Fei roared, unwilling to give up. Lu Ming and Su Ran glanced at Tuoba Fei subconsciously. To their surprise, Tuoba Fei caught their eyes. He had just been blasted down and his hair was burnt. He was in an extremely sorry state. At this moment he saw the look in Lu Ming and Su Ran's eyes. It was as if he saw the two of them mocking him. He was instantly enraged and vented all his anger on the two of them. What are you looking at? You're just a piece of trash. You don't even dare to fight for it. You're a toad lusting after a swan's meat. What a joke! Tuoba Fei shouted coldly. In particular, when he recalled that Lu Ming had called him a mad dog, he was even more furious. Lu Ming and Su Ran did not respond. They continued to watch the battle on the jade stairs, ignoring Tuoba Fei. Get lost, you two pieces of trash. Don't be an eyesore here. Seeing that the two of them dared to ignore him, Tuoba Fei was even more furious. He moved and appeared beside Su Ran, slapping him. Su Ran was shocked and quickly retreated. However, Tuoba Fei's speed was too fast for him to dodge. At this moment, Lu Ming struck out with his palm and it collided with Tuoba Fei's palm. Tuoba Fei's body trembled, and he felt that the bones in his hand were about to break. He could not help but take 2 steps back and looked at Lu Ming in shock. He had felt that the power in Lu Ming's palm was extremely terrifying, as if it was going to shatter his entire body. You're a mad dog. It seems that I have to teach you a lesson. Lu Ming stepped forward, his palm as sharp as a knife, and struck at Tuoba Fei at lightning speed. The terrifying pressure completely enveloped Tuoba Fei, like Mount Tai pressing down on him. It was unstoppable. Tuoba Fei was shocked and took out a saint weapon to block it. However, when Lu Ming's palm hit the saint weapon, Tuoba Fei's saint weapon was deformed and then exploded. Tuoba Fei's eyes widened. Although it was a bright holy weapon, it was absolutely sturdy and immortal. However, it had been blown apart by Lu Ming's palm, which shocked him greatly. The terrifying power made Tuoba Fei spit out blood and retreat. Buzz! Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared above Tuoba Fei's head in an instant. He stomped on Tuoba Fei's face. Tuoba Fei screamed in pain and his body fell into the lake like a cannonball. Su Ran was dumbfounded. Lu Ming's combat strength had completely exceeded his expectations. When he first met Lu Ming in the 100-clan battlefield, Lu Ming's cultivation was much lower than his. Although Lu Ming's combat strength was strong, he was not as good as him. Later on, Lu Ming had surpassed him. In the end, when they escaped from the 100-clan battlefield, although Lu Ming's combat strength was strong, he was still far from what he was now. It had only been a short while since they last met, but Lu Ming could already abuse Tuoba Fei as if he was a puppy. Even his bright sacred weapon was shattered by Lu Ming with a single palm. What kind of combat strength was that? Tuoba Fei could not react in time. Su Ran, didn't you want to go up? I'll walk you up. Lu Ming said, then walked towards the 9th pavilion. Su Ran then reacted and subconsciously followed Lu Ming. The two of them, one after the other, stepped onto the jade stairs. Where did this brat come from? Get lost. On the jade stairs, there was a young man who looked like a black gorilla. His arms were thicker than other people's thighs and he was more than 3 meters tall. He threw a fist the size of a human head at Lu Ming's head, causing a dull roar in the air. This young man had not seen Lu Ming make a move when they were fighting on the jade stairs. Now, he wanted to punch Lu Ming down. Lu Ming also threw a punch. Thump. The two fists collided, and the sound of bones breaking rang out. The black gorilla youth's eyes popped out, his fist had already completely exploded. Get lost. Lu Ming stepped forward and swung his palm. A huge palm formed and slapped the young gorilla down the jade stairs. The gazes of many onlookers in the surroundings fell on Lu Ming. This person is so strong. He can easily crush the others. Could it be another prodigy from a holy land? I don't think so. He came here with Blood Jade Palace's Su Ran. Many people were guessing Lu Ming's identity. The paragons in the other 8 pavilions looked at Lu Ming with curiosity. Kill! Lu Ming shouted. His soul attack followed his voice and rushed toward the other geniuses on the jade stairs. Their bodies trembled. Then, Lu Ming threw a punch at them, one by one, and they fell down. What a powerful soul force! From the first pavilion, Wan Tianlong spoke. However, his voice was still calm. Lu Ming's soul power was not bad and his combat strength was quite strong, but he was not a threat to him. Lu Ming blasted a few people down in succession and strode forward. There were still a few people in front of him who had been fighting, but they all stopped and looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, it's you. The 10th Golden Crow Prince's eyes narrowed when he saw Lu Ming. He did not expect Lu Ming to be so powerful. Get down. Lu Ming glanced at the few of them casually. He did not stop and strode forward. Everyone, let's join forces and blast this brat down, how about it? The 10th Golden Crow Prince's eyes gleamed with a sharp light. Chapter 1746, 1746, Saint Ziling. All right, let's join forces and defeat this person. Well, fight again. Attack! At that moment, the other paragons and the 10th Golden Crow Prince charged at Lu Ming. Their combined might was terrifying as they used all sorts of divine abilities to obliterate Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyelids did not even move. His palm shook and slashed out like a blade. Lu Ming's body was flowing with the power of the law of chaos. There seemed to be a prison-suppressing steel in his palm that could suppress everything. Bang, bang, bang. As the palm struck down, the divine abilities and techniques were scattered like bubbles. Lu Ming was like an immortal god of war as he continued to step forward, not allowing any spells to touch him. The 10th Golden Crow Prince and company's faces turned ugly. The few of them joined forces, but they could not do anything to Lu Ming. Get down. Lu Ming said coldly and continued to strike with his palm. A few of them did their best to exchange blows with Lu Ming. They trembled as if they had been electrocuted and were sent flying. The qi and blood in their bodies churned and the bones in their arms seemed to be about to crack. Lu Ming had already shown mercy. If he had given it his all, no one here would survive. Only the 10th Prince of the Golden Crow clan was still on the Jade Stairs. He looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. Why aren't you getting lost? Lu Ming said coldly. Lu Ming, this is the ancient Moon Holy Land. My Golden Crow clan is in the ancient Moon Holy Land. Give me some face and give me this pavilion. I can let bygones be bygones for the 100 clan battlefield. The 10th Golden Crow Prince sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. I'm giving you face, but who do you think you are? Get lost. Lu Ming shouted and grabbed one of the Golden Crow 10th Prince's wings. With a swing, he threw the Golden Crow 10th Prince out. This 10th Prince of the Golden Crow clan was a joke. He couldn't win, so he used the Golden Crow clan to threaten him. He didn't believe that the elders of the Golden Crow clan would have the nerve to intervene in a fight between peers. Therefore, he didn't need to be nice to the 10th Golden Crow Prince. Lu Ming. The 10th Golden Crow Prince steadied himself in the distance. He gritted his teeth and glared at Lu Ming. In another pavilion, the 9th Crown Prince of the Golden Crow's eyes also turned cold. Who the hell dared to call the 10th Golden Crow Prince? What about him? Scolding the 10th Golden Crow Prince like that was the same as scolding him. The 10th Golden Crow Prince was thrown down the Jade Stairs. There was no one left on the Jade Stairs. Su Ran, let's go. Lu Ming looked at Su Ran, who was in a daze. He stepped forward and walked into the 9th pavilion with Su Ran. The 9 pavilions were all occupied. How should I address this young master? You truly suppressed everyone else. This little sister is impressed. In the 9th pavilion, there was a woman in a purple dress. Her skin was like jade, and she had a heavenly fragrance. She looked at Lu Ming with her beautiful eyes and a sweet smile. She was extremely beautiful. Lu Ming. Su Ran. Lu Ming and Su Ran cupped their fists. This little girl is Ziling. Please sit down, Ziling will pour wine for you too. Ziling said. Miss Ziling, you're too polite. This time, I'm here to help Brother Su. Brother Su admires the Jade Lake Saint a lot. Lu Ming smiled slightly and pushed Su Ran forward. You're too kind, I'm just here to gain some experience. Su Ran quickly declined. He knew very well that with his talent, the Jade Lake Saint would not take a fancy to him. He was only here to experience and join in the fun. He did not expect that Lu Ming would bring him to the pavilion and sit at the same table with the Jade Lake Saint. At this moment, he couldn't help but feel a little helpless. The two of you are so reluctant. It seems that Ziling's charm is not enough to enter the eyes of the two young masters. Ziling sighed slightly, and her eyes revealed a hidden bitterness. Ziling was originally a national beauty, and with such an expression, it was really tempting. Any man would be moved. Lady Xiling, you misunderstand. Su Ran said hurriedly. Lu Ming also revealed a trace of embarrassment. Then, Xiling smiled and said, I was just joking with you too. Come, it's our first time meeting. Hey, race a toast to you too. Lu Ming and Su Ran picked up their glasses and downed their drinks. Xiling was very talkative. She quickly broke the awkward atmosphere and had a good chat with Lu Ming and Su Ran. Obviously, the Jade Lake Saintess had received special training, and dealing with people was one of them. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been so many peerless talents who had fallen under the Jade Lake Saintess' skirt since ancient times. Outside the pavilion, many people were envious. Who wouldn't want to drink and chat with the Jade Lake Saint? It was the same in the other pavilions, and they were having a good time. After 3 rounds of wine, 2 jade tokens appeared in Ziling's hands. She handed them to Lu Ming and Su Ran and said, It's getting late, and Xiling is going back to cultivate. If you two have time in the future, you can send a message to Xiling, or come to the Jade Pool Celestial Palace as a guest. Lu Ming and Su Ran took the jade cards. Definitely. I'll take my leave then. Lu Ming cupped his fists and left the pavilion. Su Ran also left the pavilion, somewhat reluctant to leave. What's wrong? Are you moved? Lu Ming smiled. Sigh, with Miss Xiling's talent, why would she be interested in me? There are more people competing to be a guardian. If it's you, Lu Ming, it's possible. Su Ran sighed. Of course, it wasn't that easy to become a guardian. All he had to do was step into a pavilion. Today, the Holy Virgin of the Jade Lake had come to this world, and he just wanted to make some friends. In the future, they would have to spend more time together, and the other elites could compete with each other. In the end, they could win the Bowtie's heart and become the real guardian of the Jade Lake Saint. It's impossible for me. Lu Ming smiled. He had come here to seek help from the Holy Land's forces, not to pick up girls. When the people in the 9 pavilions left, the space rippled again. Then, the 9 pavilions and the Jade Lake Immortal Palace all disappeared into the void. A small world. Lu Ming muttered. Emperor-level experts, Saint Hearts could condense a small world that was like a real world. The Jade Lake Divine Palace probably had many Emperor-level experts. It was very normal for them to have small worlds. In fact, many Emperor-ranked forces only had their headquarters on the surface, but it was not their true core. The true core was the small world of the Emperor-ranked powerhouses. It was definitely more mysterious and vast than the mountain and river diagram. After all, the mountain and river diagram was only a treasure created by an Emperor-level expert. Brats, stop. Just as the two of them were about to leave, a cold voice was heard. 2 golden lights flashed and 2 figures appeared in front of Lu Ming. The Golden Crow's 10th and 9th princes. Brat, how dare you insult the Golden Crow race? You are courting death. Kneel down and apologize now. The 9th prince of the Golden Crow said coldly. He was dressed in a golden robe and his body was covered in golden solar fire, burning and distorting the space. After beating the small one, a big one will come. I wonder if an old one will come after beating the big one. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled up slightly and he said in disdain. Arrogant. Do you think you're my 9th brother's match? The 10th Golden Crow Prince called out. Chapter 1747. 1747 Meeting Feng Ling again. The Golden Crow 10th Prince clamored. The Golden Crow race was proud to begin with, let alone the Crown Prince of the Golden Crow race. As for the 10th Golden Crow Prince, he had suffered at Lu Ming's hands time and time again in the 100 Clan battlefield. Now that he had become a saint, he was also crushed by Lu Ming. He had a strong desire to kill Lu Ming. However, although Lu Ming's combat strength was strong, he did not think that Lu Ming could fight against his 9th brother. The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow had reached the peak of the Bright Saint realm. His mastery of the divine ability was also very profound. His combat strength was many times stronger than his. He believed that he could easily suppress Lu Ming. It's just a sick bird. I can suppress it with a flip of my hand. Lu Ming said calmly. You're very arrogant. I'd like to see if you have the capital to be arrogant. The eyes of the ninth prince of the Golden Crow flickered with a cold light. The fire of the great sun burned on his body like the sun of the sun. His powerful aura pressed toward Lu Ming, but Lu Ming was like a Buddha's face in the spring breeze and did not feel anything. The commotion here attracted the attention of the other people in the surroundings, and they all looked over. After beating the small one, the big one comes. The Golden Crow race is getting more and more shameless. At this moment, a voice rang out. The voice was crisp and clear, and it was clearly a woman's voice. The 9th and 10th Golden Crow princes' faces darkened as they looked in the direction of the voice. 2 women stepped on the air and arrived. One of the women was wearing a phoenix dress. She had a graceful figure and was extremely beautiful. The phoenix spirit. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He was about to look for Huang Ling and did not expect to meet her here. The girl beside Huang Ling was wearing a long green dress. She had a round face and jade-like skin. She was also very beautiful and was not much worse than Huang Ling. The 2 women stepped on the air like fairies descending to the mortal world, attracting everyone's attention. Who are these 2 beautiful women? Especially the one in the phoenix dress. She's even more beautiful than the Jade Lake Saint. Of course, she's the most beautiful woman in the Phoenix Palace, Huang Ling. Of course she's beautiful. The other woman isn't much worse. She's the heaven's favorite of the pure snow pavilion, Mu Qingxue. Discussions could be heard from all around. Huang Ling and Mu Qingxue came to Lu Ming's side. What are you looking at? And you're staring at me with your eyes wide open. Do you want to eat me? If you have the ability, come at me. Mu Qingxue's big eyes glared at the 9th and 10th Golden Crow Prince as she spoke in a tender voice. The voice just now had come from Mu Qingxue. Huang Ling, Mu Qingxue, are you 2 trying to meddle in my business? The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow said in a cold voice. Lu Ming is my friend. What do you mean by being a busybody? If you want to attack him, I naturally have to interfere. Huang Ling said with a smile. The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow had a serious look in his eyes. Although Huang Ling's cultivation was weaker than his, only at the greater mastery of the Bright Saint realm, her body constitution was extremely terrifying. If he were to really fight her, he had no confidence. What's more, Mu Qingxue's combat strength wasn't weaker than his at all. If they fought, he would most likely be at a disadvantage. Kid, you're lucky, but you can't be so lucky every time. 10th brother, let's go. With that, the Golden Crow 10th Prince and the other 2 turned into 2 streaks of golden light and left. Good luck. Lu Ming smiled faintly and did not comment. After the 9th Prince of the Golden Crow left, Huang Ling looked at Lu Ming. She blinked a few times and smiled. The power of a beauty is really great. Lu Ming, it seems like even heroes can't overcome the charms of a beauty and the Jade Lake's saint. Clearly, Huang Ling had seen Lu Ming's drinking and chit-chatting with the Jade Lake's saint on the 9th pavilion. Lu Ming smiled awkwardly. Don't misunderstand. I'm here to accompany Su Ran. I'm here to help her. Is that so? Huang Ling pursed her lips and smiled. You are Lu Ming? Mu Qingxue's eyes widened as she sized Lu Ming up and down. Then she said, you're not bad looking. Your combat strength and cultivation are not bad either. No wonder Huang Ling misses you so much. Qingxue, don't spout nonsense. I didn't. Huang Ling's smiling face immediately turned red as she glared at Mu Qingxue. Oh, didn't he? I might have remembered it wrong. Mu Qingxue revealed a sly look and then laughed. Huang Ling's face turned even redder and she quickly changed the topic. Lu Ming, why did you suddenly come to the ancient Moon Holy Land? Of course, I'm here to see you because I miss our beauty, Huang Ling. Mu Qingxue interjected from the side. Mu Qingxue obviously liked to joke, which made Huang Ling's face and neck blush. Huang Ling is so beautiful. Of course, I'd like to come here earlier to take a look. However, I'm here for another important matter. Lu Ming smiled. Oh, what's the matter? Huang Ling asked. Regarding evil spirit sect, Song Province has been occupied by them. Not only Song Province, but also Cloud Province and Emperor Province. I came here this time to ask for help from the powerful forces of the ancient Moon Holy Land. Lu Ming said. Evil spirit. Huang Ling and Mu Qingsu's expressions changed at the same time. Lu Ming, let's go to the Phoenix Palace first. Well, talk as we walk, said Huang Ling. Lu Ming nodded and the four of them headed toward the Phoenix Palace. On the way, Lu Ming briefly explained what had happened in the Azure Continent. Phoenix Spirit, I wonder if Phoenix Palace can send experts to annihilate evil spirit? Finally, Lu Ming asked. Huang Ling frowned and said, Lu Ming, according to what you've said, evil spirit cult and the Emperor family have cooperated to kill Emperor Yun in one fell swoop. They must be very powerful and have at least 2 Emperor-level experts. If Phoenix Palace wants to send people, they must send at least 4 or 5 Emperor-level experts. I don't have the authority to send such experts. Lu Ming nodded. He naturally understood this. Emperor-level experts were high and mighty, they could rule a region. How could they be ordered around by a mere saint? In the Phoenix Palace, the only one who has this power is the Palace Master. Huang Ling said, How can I meet the Palace Master of Phoenix Palace? Lu Ming asked. The Palace Master's cultivation is profound, and she's always in seclusion. Even other monarch-ranked experts find it difficult to meet her, let alone me. The number of times I've met her is less than 3. Huang Ling explained. Emperor-level figures were rarely seen. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. He had long guessed that it would not be so easy to ask for help from the major forces in the Holy Land. The main reason was that their strength was low. It was too difficult to meet with those Emperor-ranked experts unless they took the initiative to come and see you. I have a way for you to meet the Phoenix Palace's master, Mu Qingxue said at this time. What is it? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. In another month, some of the holy maidens and holy sons of the Phoenix Palace will enter a phoenix's nest to fight for a treasure. If you can help Feng Ling get that treasure, the Phoenix Palace master might summon you, Mu Qingxue said. Chapter 1748, 1748 The Phoenix Nest, a phoenix's nest? Lu Ming was full of doubts. That's right, Lu Ming. In a month, the holy sons and holy virgins of the Phoenix Palace will enter a destroyed phoenix nest in search of the heart of a wutong tree. Every holy virgin and holy son can invite a few friends to help them. I was thinking of asking you for help. If we succeed, we might be able to meet the palace master. Huang Ling explained. We're friends. Even if this didn't happen, I'd still help you. It's just that there are so many heaven's favorites in ancient Moon Holy Land. With my cultivation level, I'm afraid I can't help you. Lu Ming said. No, because only those in the Bright Saint realm are allowed to enter this time, said Huang Ling. The four of them talked as they walked. Huang Ling also explained the situation in detail. It turned out that not long ago, the Phoenix Palace had discovered a phoenix's nest. Unfortunately, the phoenix's nest had been destroyed long ago, and all the phoenixes in the phoenix's nest had died. An expert from the Phoenix Palace had entered the phoenix's nest to investigate, but he was surrounded by the phoenix's spirit and had escaped with heavy injuries. After many tests, the Phoenix Palace found out that there were many heroic spirits of dead phoenixes in the phoenix nest. These heroic spirits were usually dormant and would attack together if outsiders entered. The more powerful an existence was, the more powerful the heroic spirit would be alerted. Even the Phoenix Palace's monarch-tier experts were forced to retreat after being seriously injured. The lower the cultivation level, the less likely it was to alert the stronger heroic spirits. At most, it would alert some of the weaker heroic spirits. The experts of the Phoenix Palace also discovered that there was an ancient parasol tree in the phoenix's nest that had condensed the heart of the parasol tree. This was a priceless treasure to the Phoenix Palace. Therefore, the Phoenix Palace had decided to send the Bright Saint Realm saints and saintesses of the Phoenix Palace into the phoenix's nest to get the heart of the wudong. Each of them could invite 3 friends outside the Phoenix Palace to help. In fact, this was a test for these holy sons and holy virgins. Whoever could get the heart of the parasol tree would be more valued by the Phoenix Palace, and their status would be higher than the other holy sons and holy virgins. The 4 of them chatted as they walked. Not long after, a majestic mountain peak appeared in front of them. This mountain peak was like a phoenix with its wings spread out. It was extremely lifelike. There were many palaces built on the mountain peak. This was the Phoenix Palace. Lu Ming realized that the cultivation environment here was better than other places. Lu Ming, Su Ran, from now on, you'll be living in Phoenix Palace. How about it? Said Huang Ling. I can't ask for more. Lu Ming said with a smile. Staying here was much better than staying in an inn. Su Ran naturally nodded. The four of them flew into the Phoenix Palace. Huang Ling arranged a place for Lu Ming to stay and then brought them on a tour of the Phoenix Palace. After touring around, the group arrived at Lu Ming's residence. It was a courtyard. Lu Ming, I'll try my best to report the matter regarding evil spirit to the higher-ups and see if I can meet the palace master. You guys can stay here. If anything happens, you can contact me at any time. Said Huang Ling. All right. Lu Ming nodded. After Huang Ling and Mu Qingxue left, Lu Ming and Su Ran each went into a room and cultivated on their own. Time flew by, and a month passed in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming had cultivated the chaos finger tribulation arduously. Now that he had reached 18% mastery, its power had increased by a few more points. 3 people were gathered in a courtyard in the Phoenix Palace. They were Huang Ling, Lu Ming, and Mu Qingxue. It was only then that Lu Ming knew that Mu Qingxue was one of the people whom Huang Ling had invited to help. That Qin Feng guy is really slow. He's still not here. Mu Qingxue snorted. Every Holy Son and Holy Virgin could invite 3 friends to help them. Now that Lu Ming and Mu Qingxue had arrived, they were still short of 1 friend. Anyway, there's still time. Let's wait a little longer, said Huang Ling. At this moment, Lu Ming's gaze was fixed on the sky. A young man stepped on the air and arrived. This person was dressed in a white robe and was quite handsome. He stepped down from the sky and smiled. Huang Ling, I'm sorry I'm late. I thought you weren't coming. Mu Qingxue said coldly, as if she didn't like this person. Mu Qingxue's attitude didn't anger the young man. He still had a smile on his face as he turned to look at Lu Ming. Feng Ling, who is this? He's Lu Ming. Lu Ming. His name is Qin Feng. Huang Ling introduced. It's Brother Lu. Qin Feng cupped his fists. Brother Qin. Lu Ming also cupped his fists, but he had a feeling that Qin Ran's smile was very fake. Qin Feng sized Lu Ming up and said, Brother Lu, you look very unfamiliar. Are you not from ancient Moon Holy Land? No, I'm from the Azure Continent. Lu Ming said. The Azure Continent? The corners of Qin Feng's mouth twitched slightly, revealing a hint of contempt. Although he hid it very quickly, Lu Ming still noticed it. I wonder what's Brother Lu's current cultivation level? Qin Feng asked again. Lu Ming had cast an illusionary technique to cover up the aura of his cultivation, so Qin Feng could not tell. Hey Qin Feng, you're asking too much. What's Lu Ming's cultivation level? Why should he tell you? Mu Qingxue said unhappily. Qingxue, you're wrong. Since we're a team and we're going to enter the Phoenix's nest together to help Feng Ling complete her mission, we naturally have to understand the other's cultivation level. That way, it'll be easier for us to work together, right? Qin Yang smiled. His words seemed reasonable, leaving Mu Qingxue speechless. It's just my cultivation level. There's nothing to hide. My cultivation level is at the lower tier of the Bright Saint realm. Lu Ming said. Initial Bright Saint? This time, Qin Feng's contempt was even more obvious. To be honest, the initial Bright Saint realm isn't enough. Huang Ling, if you can't find any friends, I can introduce you to a few. They'll at least be in the upper tier of the Bright Saint realm. Although Qin Feng still had a smile on his face, his contempt was already very obvious. Huang Ling's brows furrowed and she looked unhappy. There's no need. I believe that Lu Ming's combat strength is not weaker than that of a great mastery Bright Saint. He will definitely be of great help. Oh really? The corners of Qin Feng's mouth curled up into a sneer, and he did not say anything more. Alright, it's getting late. Let's go, said Huang Ling. Immediately, the 4 of them rose into the air and soon arrived at the top of a mountain. There were already quite a few people on the peak. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the crowd and discovered that there were 24 people. They were grouped into 6 groups of 4. Obviously, They were the other holy sons and holy virgins of the Phoenix Palace and the friends they had invited. Including Huang Ling and the others, there were 7 groups in total. As soon as Lu Ming and the rest arrived, they were met with cold gazes. The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow. Lu Ming looked around and saw the 9th Prince of the Golden Crow looking at him coldly. In addition, Lu Ming also discovered many familiar faces. For example, Wan Tianlong of the Wan family and the Heaven's favorite of the Wilderness Sword sect. 4 or 5 of them had stepped onto the Jade Pool Saintess Pavilion a month ago. Unexpectedly, they had all been invited by the Phoenix Palace's Saint and Saintess. Chapter 1749, 1749 The Phoenix Spirit 7 groups, a total of 28 people. They sized each other up and revealed their battle intent. The atmosphere was very heavy. Feng Ling, you'll definitely be the one to obtain the heart of the parasol tree this time. You should give up. A young man looked at Feng Ling and spoke coldly. He was filled with confidence. He was dressed in a phoenix robe, handsome and full of nobility. What a joke! The heart of the parasol tree will definitely be mine. A voice came from the side. It was a woman. Huang Ling's expression was calm and she did not speak. The man's name is Huang Kong, and the woman's name is Huang Bing. They have the highest cultivation among this batch of holy sons and holy virgins. However, their talents are not as good as Huang Ling's. That's why they're always against her, trying to suppress her. Mu Qingxue sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded. Afraid that the Phoenix Spirit had appear and attack Heavenly Phoenix body, said Huang Ling. The spirit body could continue to evolve through and flew forward. Back in the 100 Clan battlefield, it had already evolved to a medium-grade heavenly spirit body. It was not something that ordinary geniuses could compare to. This Phoenix didn't seem to have a physical body, but a black shadow. Huang Bing had invited revealed an intense hatred as it pounced. Their auras were strong and hard to estimate. Mu Qingxue let out a delicate cry and slapped out a palm. The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow was next to Huang Bing, cold wave rushed out and hit the Phoenix Phantom, sending it flying. However, the Phoenix Phantom shouted again and rushed toward Mu Qingxue. The sound of something breaking through the air could be heard in the sky. Three old men came through the air as she clenched her
"Greetings,
fist.
elder."
A terrifying
Feng
cold
Ling
wave
and the
appeared
other
and
holy
condensed
sons
into
and
a
holy
long
daughters
sword.
of the Phoenix
With a
Palace
slash,
bowed.
the Phoenix
"You are
spirit was
free."
cut in half.
The old man
turned
in the
into
lead
waves
waved
of
his
black
hand.
smoke and
Everyone's
disappeared
here.
into the ground.
Now follow us.
A divine
After
ability.
the old man in the lead
Lu Ming's
finished
heart
speaking,
stirred.
he soared
What
into
Mu
the
Qingxue
sky.
used was
The
a
others followed
superpower
him,
technique,
and not long
her
after,
cultivation
they
was
arrived
also
at a
very
valley.
high.
In the
Reaching
valley,
the peak of
there was a
bright
pitch black vortex.
Her superpower
and behind the
technique was
vortex
profound
was the
and her
Phoenix's
combat
nest.
power was strong.
"Go in."
No wonder
The
the
leading
ninth
old
prince
man
of the Golden
said,
Crow was
"Let's
so
go.
afraid and
Let's
left
go."
directly.
Huang Kong
After
was
killing
the
a
first to
phoenix
speak.
spirit,
The
he
four of
rushed
them
into the
increased
vortex
their
with his
speed
three
and
helpers
rushed forward.
and disappeared.
However,
Then
not long
Huang
after
Bing
they
and the
rushed
others
out,
rushed
the
into the
cries of
vortex
phoenixes
and disappeared.
rang out again.
"Let's go
This
in too."
time, several
Huang
phoenix
Ling
spirits
said and
appeared
rushed
into
into
the black
pounced
toward
tortoise,
the four of them,
followed by Lu
those
Ming
with
and
weak
the others.
cultivation.
As
Step
soon as
back
they
and
entered the
don't get in the
vortex,
way.
they appeared
Qin
on a
Feng
mountain
glanced
peak.
at Lu Ming coldly,
Looking up,
then
they
stepped
saw that the
forward
world
and
in front of
charged
them
at the
was
Phoenix
filled with
spirits.
thick black fog,
Qin Feng's
which
combat
blocked their
strength
vision.
wasn't any
The
weaker
others
than
all
Mu
appeared not
Qingshue's.
far away. No wonder he
Buzz
was so arrogant.
and NBSP
Lu Ming
whoosh.
smiled faintly.
Then Huang
Since he was
Kong
not
and the
needed,
others flew
he could not
forward
be
and
bothered to do
disappeared into the
anything.
thick black
He
fog.
stood beside Huang
According
Ling,
to the
Mu Qingxue,
investigation
and
of
Qin
the
Feng
Feng
joined
Palace's
forces
experts,
and quickly
the
destroyed
ancient
a few
parasol
phoenix
tree
souls.
is in the depths
The four
of
of them
the Phoenix
continued to
nest.
move forward,
said
but
Huang
more
Ling.
and more phoenix
After that,
souls appeared.
the four of them
Mu
also flew
Qingxue
forward.
and Qin Yang
After
were also
flying into the
finding it
mist,
more and
he
more
found that the
difficult to
mist
deal
was
with the
too thick,
situation,
and he couldn't see clearly.
What's wrong with Huang Ling?
At first, he could
She
still
invited
see the
a piece
other
of
holy
trash.
sons and
Otherwise,
holy virgins.
we would have
but
an
later,
easier
they had
time if there was
completely
another
disappeared.
expert.
After
Looking
flying for
at
a
the
long
increasing
time,
number of
they
phoenix
finally
spirits,
flew out of
Qin
the
Feng's
fog-covered
face
area
became
and their
more
vision
and more
widened.
unsightly.
However,
He
they
began
didn't
to
see
not
the
hide
other
his
holy
thoughts
sons
and began to
holy
speak
virgins or their
sarcastically.
helpers.
And
It was
NBSP,
clear that
but
while
at this
flying in
moment,
the fog,
a massive
everyone's
phoenix
direction
spirit
was
appeared.
slightly off,
This
and they had
phoenix
already
spirit
separated.
was several times
This
larger
place
than the
seems
other
to have
phoenix
experienced
spirits,
a
and its
terrifying
aura was
battle.
extremely
Mu
thick and
Qingxue
terrifying.
asked in surprise.
It screeched and
Looking into
pounced
the
on
distance,
Qin Feng.
he could see
Qin
many
Feng
mountain peaks,
unleashed his
but
full
most of
power
them
and
had
struck out a
collapsed.
huge palm
Some seemed
toward
to
the
have been
phoenix
cut
spirit.
off by a sword,
However,
and some
the
seemed
phoenix
to have been
spirit's
smashed
sharp
by a
claws
palm.
destroyed Qin
In
Feng's
fact,
palm
they
print
even
and
slashed
slashed
toward him with its
fist
blade-like
prints on the
wings.
ground.
This phoenix
Feng's
nest
expression
should be a
changed.
small world.
He took out
and
a
a scent weapon to
terrifying
block the attack,
in the distant
but he was
past.
sent flying.
Almost
His
all the
face was
phoenixes
pale,
here
and
were
he
killed.
almost spat out
We
blood.
have to be careful.
This phoenix spirit is too strong. We can't fight it.
Let's leave this place first and take a detour, Qin Feng suggested. Take a detour? In my opinion, there are such powerful phoenix souls everywhere. If we can't break through here, it will be the same in other places. Lu Ming said. Shut up. What right do you have to speak? We're fighting, what are you doing? Qin Feng shouted coldly. At this time, the powerful phoenix spirit pounced toward Qin Feng again. Qin Feng's expression changed and he turned around to run, shouting, Listen to me, well, take a detour. Even if we join forces, we're still not his match. Qin Feng's speed was very fast. As soon as he ran, the huge phoenix spirit pounced on the phoenix spirit and Lu Ming. Huang Ling, be careful. Mu Qingxue shouted. She wanted to rush over to help, but it was already too late. Huang Ling's expression turned serious. Her body was filled with the unperishable flame, forming a flaming phoenix. Chapter 1750, 1750. The ancient parasol tree. The phoenix spirit would not retreat. Her thoughts were the same as Lu Ming's. There were phoenix spirits everywhere in this place. There might be stronger ones in other places. They could only rush over. If they couldn't even get past this, how could they compete with the other holy sons and holy virgins? "I'll do it, let's go," Lu Ming said as he stepped forward. A powerful aura surged from his body. Then, his palm was like a knife as he slashed at the phoenix spirit's sharp claws. "You're only a lower-tier bright saint, yet you want to fight this phoenix spirit head-on? You're really ignorant. You're looking for death." In the distance, Qin Feng sneered. But the next moment, his smile disappeared. Bang! Lu Ming's palm collided with the phoenix's sharp claws, but the result was that the phoenix's body was sent flying. Then, Lu Ming stepped forward. A huge chaos sky-turning seal condensed in his palm. Half an hour later, it was as big as a mountain and pressed down on the phoenix spirit. Finally, there were no more phoenix sky-turning seal was only a domain-level martial arts technique. It was still extremely terrifying when cast by Lu Ming with his current streams of light and streaked across the sky. The chaotic sky-turning seal for an unknown distance, a towering ancient tree appeared in their line of sight. Is that the ancient hands did not stop. It's actually rooted in the void. Seals were constantly condensed and blasted at the phoenix spirit. At the towering tree in front of him. 6 consecutive attacks. The ancient tree was too big. The phoenix spirit finally couldn't take it anymore. And the sun. It exploded with a bang and turned into black smoke. The most shocking thing was that the roots of the towering ancient tree were actually rooted in the void. Extremely gloomy. It was as if a towering ancient tree had grown out of the void. He was only an initial bright terrifying, but he could suppress the phoenix's spirit. About this long ago. Didn't that mean that his combat strength was stronger than his? Also a little dumbfounded. Moreover, in his opinion, he was no match for the phoenix spirit just now. The heart of the parasol tree is right there. Now that Lu Ming could kill the phoenix spirit, said Huang Ling as she flew forward. Not long after, in front of the two beauties, approached the ancient parasol tree. The closer they got, the more they felt that the ancient parasol tree was huge. It was as if it could support an entire world. Combat strength has become stronger. How big it was. Under the ancient parasol tree, Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared extremely majestic to help her deal with the other phoenix spirits. At the peak of the mountain, near the root were much weaker and were no match for Lu Ming. When they arrived, they found that they could not quickly up any further. They were obstructed by a powerful force. Said to Bai Lin, "What's going on? Lu Ming, if we can't fly up, you're obviously so strong. Parasol tree. So why didn't you attack just now?" Asked, puzzled. "Were you waiting for us to be unable to resist before you attacked so that you could show off your strength? Could it be from there? You're disregarding other people's safety. Let's go take a look." Qin said. Huang flew back and scolded with a gloomy face. "Weren't you the one who told me not to make a move?" From several other directions, the one who wanted to show off was you, could be heard. Right? Of course I had to give you this chance. Towards the mountain. Unfortunately, I didn't expect you to be a good for nothing, Huang Ling said in a low voice. What did you just say? Them, there were 3 other holy sons and holy sons who had brought people here. Actually dared to call him trash. Of people arrived in front of the mountain also, almost at the same time. Trash on the mountain. Stand behind. There was a jade staircase that led from the foot of the mountain to the top. Lu Ming at the foot of the mountain forward. There was a stone tablet with a line of words written on it. Gave Qin Feng, "If you want to climb up the Wutong tree, then she followed Lu Ming and walked forward." It was obvious that in order to step onto the ancient parasol tree, and one had to climb the jade ladder to the peak of the mountain and then actually dared to humiliate him. He was just a person from the Azure continent. People from all 4 sides moved almost at the same time and rushed toward the jade's major force. Lu Ming rushed up the jade stairs. With one step, eyes darted around for a while, then he followed Lu Ming and he headed towards the mountain peak at top speed. More phoenix spirits appeared. However, with Lu Ming leading the way, these phoenix spirits could not stop them at all. They rushed forward quickly. 1752 fighting the 4 great geniuses alone. Bang, bang, bang. The 3 of them climbed up step by step. With every step they took, the jade stairs made a clattering sound. The cries of phoenixes kept coming out from the 3 of them. Huang Ling was completely bathed in the immortal flames, as if she was about to turn into an immortal phoenix. Gradually, Huang Ling started to take the lead and surpassed Huang Bing and Huang Kong. This made Huang Bing and Huang Kong's faces extremely gloomy. The 2 of them were unwilling. Were they going to lose to Huang Ling? The heart of the parasol tree was going to be taken by Huang Ling? They were well aware of this mission. It was also a test for them by the higher-ups of the Phoenix Palace, and the palace master would pay attention to it. Whoever won would be more important than the other holy sons and holy daughters, and would receive more resources in the future. Only then would they have the capital to challenge the stronger holy sons and holy virgins. A powerful force like the Phoenix Palace had too many paragons. There were saintesses and sons in every generation. How many heaven's favorites are there? If he wanted to stand at the top and compete for the position of the Phoenix Palace Master, he had to suppress all the other paragons. Now, if the 7 bright saints still couldn't win, they were destined to be reduced to mere sidekicks in the future. They couldn't compete for the position of Palace Master, unless he could obtain a heaven-defying opportunity later on. Time passed by slowly. Huang Ling's advantage became more and more obvious, and she was getting closer and closer to the peak. The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow, Wan Tianlong, Huang Jian, and the other top talents all looked pale. After all, they were Huang Kong and Huang Bing had invited them to help them. Naturally, they wanted to help them win the first place. This way they would have some face. Huang Kong and Huang Bing looked at each other, and a trace of ruthlessness flashed in their eyes. Let's join forces. Let's knock the Phoenix spirit down first before we fight for it. How about it? Huang Kong sent a message to Huang Bing. Alright, that's what I was thinking. They'll send a message to Huang Jian and the others. Huang Bing nodded and sent a message to Huang Jian and the Golden Crow Prince. She planned to team up with Huang Kong to deal with Huang Ling first. At the same time, Huang Kong also sent a message to the 3 people he had invited. The eyes of the 9th Golden Crow Prince lit up and flashed with cold killing intent. Beside Huang Kong, Wan Tianlong and the rest also looked in Lu Ming's direction and nodded silently. Then, in a flash, 6 paragons charged toward Lu Ming and the rest. Not good. Huang Kong and Huang Bing are working together. They have to deal with Huang Ling first. Mu Qingxue cried out in alarm. It wasn't hard to guess the situation. Guard the Phoenix spirit well. The 2 of you guard the left and right sides. They'll guard the bottom, Lu Ming said. He stood behind Huang Ling and looked down at the Golden Crow 9th Prince and the rest. Get down. The 9th Prince of the Golden Crow glanced at Lu Ming. In the end, he did not dare to fight and pounced on Qin Feng. The other heaven's favorite charged towards Mu Qingxue. As for Desolate Sword, Wan Tianlong and the other 3, they charged at Lu Ming at the same time. Lu Ming's combat strength was the strongest. As long as he got rid of Lu Ming first, the rest would be easy to handle. Buzz. The Desolate Sword's iron sword was unsheathed and it cut through the void, making a terrifying whistling sound as it slashed towards Lu Ming. At the same time, Wan Tianlong's body glowed with light as saint weapons emerged one after another. There were a total of 72 saint weapons, one of which was a great saint weapon. The chi of battle weapons gathered together, and it was extremely powerful as it charged towards Lu Ming. Although the primal chaos tribulation finger was only 18% complete, its power was even stronger than 30% of the sacred art cultivated from the laws. The law of chaos. Could he be the son of chaos? Desolate Sword's eyes were filled with shock as he recognized Lu Ming's law. So what if he's a son of chaos? He hasn't grown up yet. It'll still kill him. The young man in purple robe shouted. Purple light burst forth as he waved his hands continuously. Huge purple snakes pounced toward Lu Ming. The 2 of you, go and deal with Huang Ling, leave Lu Ming to us. Huang Jian said to Wan Tianlong and Wang Yan. All right. Wan Tianlong and Fang Ping nodded, planning to circle around Lu Ming and charge at Huang Ling. Stay here, die. Lu Ming bellowed as the space between his brows glowed. The Tai Chi disc array floated out, and the Tai Chi pattern emerged, turning into the yin-yang fish sword. It charged at Wan Tianlong and Huang Jian, blocking their path. At the same time, he used the chaotic finger of calamity to fight Huang Jian and the purple-robed young man. Lu Ming alone blocked the 4 paragons, preventing them from approaching the Phoenix spirit. The others were shocked, especially Huang Kong and Huang Bing, who could not calm down. He had never seen Lu Ming before. Which force did he belong to? His combat strength was too terrifying. He was only at the initial Bright Saint realm, but his combat strength was simply heaven-defying. He could actually fight against 4 great geniuses. and the laws he controlled were suspected to be the legendary laws of chaos. Could it be that the son of chaos was really born? Huang Ling actually knew such a genius. Chapter 1754, 1754 The Palace Master of Phoenix Palace. Not long after, the phoenix spirit floated down from the ancient parasol tree. Feng Ling, how is it? Did you get the heart of the parasol tree? Lu Ming asked. Yes, I got it. Huang Ling nodded. That's great. Mu Qingxue jumped up in excitement. Huang Kong, Huang Bing, and the others were envious, but they were only envious. At this point they could no longer fight for it. This time, many big shots of the Phoenix Palace would be watching. The previous competition was nothing, but now that Feng Ling had obtained the heart of the Wutong tree, they would be punished if they fought again. Huang Ling, congratulations. Huang Bing smiled and congratulated Feng Ling. This time, Feng Ling had obtained the heart of the parasol tree. Coupled with her terrifying talent, her status in the Phoenix Palace would definitely be higher in the future. She might even be able to compete with those stronger geniuses in the future. Since she had already lost, she naturally had to build a good relationship with Feng Ling. Thanks for letting me win. Huang Ling also smiled. Huang Kong snorted unhappily. He then stepped down and left without stopping. The expert he had hired also left with him. Sister Feng Ling, I'll take my leave first. Huang Bing smiled and left with Huang Jian and the others. Huang Xian and the others also left, leaving only the four of them. Feng Ling, congratulations. Through our hard work, we have finally helped you obtain the heart of the parasol tree. This trip was not in vain. Qin Feng said with a smile. Our efforts? Qin Feng, you still have the face to say that? Did you deliberately let the 9th prince of the Golden Crow injure Huang Ling? Mu Qingxue said with a sullen face. Mu Qingxue, what do you mean by this? Did I go easy on him on purpose? If you don't have evidence, don't slander me. Qin Yang said. Whether or not I've done it, I know it clearly in my heart. Mu Qingxue snorted coldly, then pulled Huang Ling's hand and said, Feng Ling, let's go. We don't have to bother with such a despicable person in the future. This kind of person is one-faced and two-faced. It's too dangerous to be too close to him. Huang Ling smiled and looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, let's go. All right. Lu Ming nodded and walked side by side with Huang Ling and Mu Qingxue, heading back the way they had come. Lu Ming and Huang Ling did not even look at Qin Feng. Damn it. Qin Feng gritted his teeth, and his eyes flashed with viciousness. He then left as well. Not long after, they returned to the exit and stepped into the vortex, leaving the place. Feng Ling, congratulations on obtaining the heart of the parasol tree. The old man from earlier said with a smile as soon as Lu Ming and the rest came out. You are too polite, elder. Huang Ling bowed slightly. And Feng Ling, the palace master wants to see you. He'll bring you there. The leading old man said. Palace master? Elder, Lu Ming also has something to discuss with the palace master. Can you bring him to see the palace master? Huang Ling's eyes lit up. Are you bringing him? I'll first report this to the palace master and see what he thinks. He said for the chief. Then he'll have to trouble you, elder. Huang Ling bowed. The first elder took out a jade voice transmission talisman and sent a message. After a while, he smiled and said, The palace master has agreed to see him, come with me. Lu Ming and Huang Ling followed after him, while Mu Qingxue went back alone. Not long after, they arrived at a grand hall. In the main hall, a beautiful woman in palace clothing sat. She had a kind expression and a faint smile. She did not emit any aura. However, when Lu Ming approached her, her heart could not help but beat wildly. The muscles in her body tensed up and even her soul trembled slightly. How terrifying! Lu Ming was extremely shocked. The other party's strength was definitely earth-shattering and had reached an unimaginable realm. As he approached, he did not emit any aura at all, but Lu Ming could already feel a terrifying pressure. Was this the Phoenix Palace's palace master? Without a doubt, this was an emperor-ranked figure. And even among emperor-ranked figures, he was extremely terrifying. We pay our respects to the palace master. The elder bowed respectfully. I, Feng Ling, pay my respects to the palace master. Huang Ling also bowed. Junior Lu Ming greets the palace master. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, N. The Phoenix Palace's palace lord nodded and said to the elder, You may leave. Yes. That elder retreated. Then, the Phoenix Palace master looked at Feng Ling and smiled even wider. Huang Ling, you're not bad. You didn't let me down. Thank you, Palace Master. However, it was all thanks to Lu Ming's help that Feng Ling was able to obtain the heart of the parasol tree this time. After saying that, Huang Ling took out a piece of wood core. There were phoenixes dancing on it. It was extremely mysterious. This was the heart of the Wutong tree. The Phoenix Palace's palace lord waved her hand and kept the heart of the Wutong tree. She said, Huang Ling, if you have any questions about cultivation in the future, feel free to look for me. Then he looked at Lu Ming and said, Little fellow, I heard that you were looking for me. What's the matter? Palace Master, it's because of the evil spirit cult incident. Lu Ming said, Evil spirit? The Palace Master raised an eyebrow. It's like this. Then, Lu Ming told them about how evil spirit had attacked the Azure region and killed Emperor Yun. In the end, he expressed that he wanted to ask Phoenix Palace to send experts to exterminate the evil spirit. The Phoenix Palace's palace lord frowned and pondered for a moment before saying, Little fellow, I'm afraid I can't agree to your request. Palace Master, why is that? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. And NB little fellow, I might as well tell you. Some time ago, we found traces of an evil spirit sect deputy sect leader in Ancient Moon's sanctuary. The Phoenix Palace's palace lord said. Evil spirit's vice leader. Lu Ming and Huang Ling were shocked. It was said that the deputy patriarch of evil spirit was an unrivaled figure. No one had expected that such a figure would not die and would come out. So, during this period of time, I have to put my attention on evil spirit cult's vice sect leader. There's also another one. Now, in Ancient Moon Holy Land, all the major forces are deeply rooted and the competition is getting more and more intense. And according to what you said, there are at least 2 or 3 emperor-level figures in evil spirit cult and the DI family. If we want to annihilate the other party, the number of emperor-level powerhouses we send must be at least twice the number of the other party. This is the only way to ensure that we can annihilate the other party. Once the Phoenix Palace sends out so many emperor-level powerhouses, their own strength will be empty, giving other forces an opportunity to take advantage of it. Therefore, it's very difficult for me to agree to this condition. The Phoenix Palace's palace lord said. I see. Lu Ming sighed. He knew that it would not be so easy to ask for help from Guyu Holy Land. These forces would first consider their own interests. If their strength was damaged, they would most likely not agree. As the palace master of Phoenix Palace had said, if Phoenix Palace sent out so many emperor-level experts, Phoenix Palace's strength would be weakened, giving other forces an opportunity to take advantage of it. And NBSP, there were many powerful factions in Ancient Moon Holy Land, and the competition between them was extremely intense. Each faction had their eyes on one another, and under such conditions, they could not make a single mistake. Chapter 1755, 1755 Chapter 1755 Coming to the door, Lu Ming sighed in his heart. It seemed that it was better to rely on oneself than on others. As long as he was strong, there was no need to ask for help from others. Master, please be patient for a while. When I'm strong enough, I'll definitely come back to save you. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly. Little guy, change your condition. I'll try my best to satisfy what I can. The palace master of Phoenix Palace seemed to feel a little apologetic and continued. Lu Ming composed himself and had an idea. He said, Palace Master, I've killed a few assassins from the Thousand Kills mansion, and I have the killer's mark on my body. Can Senior help me remove it? With the mark of the Thousand Kill mansion on his body, he would be sensed by the other party within a certain range. If he met someone from the Thousand Kill mansion again, he would definitely be annoyed and have to be on guard against being assassinated every day. This is easy. The palace master waved his hand and a ray of light enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming felt a warm sensation all over his body. Then he saw a wisp of gray airflow emerging from Lu Ming's body. It was constantly twisting and it was very strange. This was the slaughter mark. The Phoenix Palace's palace master squeezed it gently, and the slaughter mark turned into ashes. All right, the mark of slaughter has been removed. Also, you've helped Feng Ling a lot this time by helping her obtain the heart of the parasol tree. You're now a friend of the Phoenix Palace, so you can stay here for a while. You're free to enter some of the cultivation sanctuaries in the Phoenix Palace. The Phoenix Palace's palace lord smiled. Many thanks, Palace Master. Lu Ming cupped his fists and thanked him. Although the other party did not agree to send experts to annihilate evil spirits' remnants, the other party was an overlord and an emperor-level expert. Lu Ming could not continue to ask. You can leave now. Let Huang Ling take you around. The palace master said. After that, Lu Ming bade farewell to Huang Ling and left. Lu Ming, I'm sorry. On the way back, Huang Ling said in embarrassment. Nothing much? I can understand that you need to consider the Phoenix Palace as well. Lu Ming said with a smile. He knew that Huang Ling was referring to the fact that the Phoenix Palace master had not sent any experts to help. Lu Ming, there are some good cultivation sanctuaries in the Phoenix Palace. They'll show you around in a few days. You can stay in the Phoenix Palace for a while, said Huang Ling. Lu Ming nodded. The two of them chatted for a while before they went their separate ways. Lu Ming returned to his residence. After returning to the courtyard, Lu Ming released Bubbles and let her play nearby while he went into seclusion to cultivate. A few days passed by in a flash. On this day, two forces arrived at the Phoenix Palace. These two forces were the Golden Crow tribe and the Wan family. An emperor-to-be from Phoenix Palace welcomed him. I wonder why the Wan family and the Golden Crow clan have come to the Phoenix Palace? The emperor-to-be of the Phoenix Palace asked. It's simple. The WN family is here to ask for a person from Phoenix Palace, said an elder from the Wan family. Behind him stood a few burly middle-aged men and a few young men. One of them was Wan Tianlong. The Golden Crow tribe also wants a person from the Phoenix Palace. The one who spoke was a middle-aged man in a golden robe. His eyes were cold and his aura was overbearing. Behind this middle-aged man were a few other people. Among them were a few young men, the 9th prince of the Golden Crow. Phoenix Palace's emperor-to-be's face darkened and said, "What a joke. You two came to my Phoenix Palace to ask for her. Don't be angry, Brother Huang. The person that the Wan family wants is not a disciple of the Phoenix Palace, but a young man named Lu Ming." Chapter 1756, 1756 The Battle in a Month. Kid, what did you say? The WN family's elder's eyes gleamed even more sharply. The eyes of the middle-aged man from the Golden Crow clan turned golden and revealed his sharp edge. First of all, let me ask you, other than the 10,000 soldier scroll, do you practice any other martial arts techniques and cultivation methods? Lu Ming's voice was powerful and fearless. Nonsense. I'll cultivate naturally, the old man from the Wan family said. Since you're cultivating it, are the cultivation techniques and martial techniques of the Wan family created by the Wan family? Isn't it just to seize the others? The 10,000 soldiers scroll that I'm cultivating is something that I've taken from someone from the Wan family who tried to kill me in the 100 Clan battlefield. This is my trophy. If the Wan family can cultivate other people's cultivation techniques and martial techniques, why can't I? Lu Ming's clear voice spread throughout the entire area, leaving the Wan family speechless. If they could cultivate other people's cultivation methods and martial arts techniques, why could Lu Ming not cultivate the Wan family's 10,000 soldiers' art? And all of you, you're here for the 9th prince of the Golden Crow, right? That's even more ridiculous. He was defeated in a battle of the same generation, but he still came to find me. In that case, you Golden Crows shouldn't come out anymore. Otherwise, if you're defeated by others, all the older ones will go and ask for him. Lu Ming looked at the people of the Golden Crow clan, causing the 9th prince's face to turn red. I can defeat you, but you shouldn't humiliate the crown prince of the Golden Crow clan. The middle-aged Golden Crow race man's gaze turned even colder. What a humiliation! What a joke! All I did was to strip him of his fur. In a great battle, weapons have no eyes. How could I control them so well? Lu Ming said, "You're quibbling. Today, you must come with me to the Golden Crow race." The middle-aged man from the Golden Crow race said in a domineering manner, "That's right. No matter how glib your tongue is, it's useless. Let me tell you, I don't care about other cultivation methods or martial arts techniques, but you can't cultivate the 10,000 soldiers scroll. You must abolish it." The old man from the Wan clan spoke in an even more overbearing manner. "Hee, goodbye." Lu Ming sneered. He could not be bothered to waste his breath and turned to leave. The WN family and the Golden Crow race were simply unreasonable, so why did he need to say anything? "If you want to leave, then stay, die." The elder of the Wan family shouted. A terrifying aura burst out of his body. It was the aura of an emperor-to-be, and it was extremely powerful. It pressed toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming felt an irresistible pressure pressing on him, as if he was going to explode. Enough! The emperor-to-be of the Phoenix Palace was displeased. With a wave of his hand, a powerful aura rushed out and blocked the aura of the Wan family's elder. Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief. The emperor-to-be was too strong for him to resist. "This is the Phoenix Palace. You've gone too far," the emperor-to-be of Phoenix Palace said coldly. In the air, a few more elders of the Phoenix Palace descended from the sky, staring at the Wan family and the Golden Crow clan with unfriendly eyes. Is the Phoenix Palace really going to offend the Wan family and the Golden Crow tribe because of Lu Ming? The old man from the Wan family said in a deep voice. "Lu Ming is a guest of the Phoenix Palace. Since he's a guest of the Phoenix Palace, I can't let you take him away." The attitude of the emperor-to-be of Phoenix Palace also became stronger. The WN family and the Golden Crow race had ugly expressions. "Lu Ming, hide in the Phoenix Palace for the rest of your life if you can." A young man from the Wan family spoke. "He's the one who's looking for death, so we naturally have to fulfill his wish. Anyway, so many people have seen it, so they won't say that we're bullying the few with numbers." The sixth prince's eyes were cold. "All right, but I'll decide on the time." Lu Ming said. "You decide the time. If you set it 100 years or 1,000 years later, how are we going to compete?" Wan Tianbing sneered. "How about the battle at Phoenix Lake in a month?" Lu Ming said. "A month later? All right, I agree." "I also agree." Wan Tiancheng and the sixth prince of the Golden Crow spoke one after another. In a month's time, could Lu Ming turn the tables? Moreover, they had joined forces. Lu Ming did not have the slightest hope. They had heard about Lu Ming's performance in the Phoenix's nest. However, they were medium-grade heavenly spiritual bodies, and their cultivation had reached the great circle of the bright saint stage. Their supernatural powers were powerful, and they could easily crush the heavens' favorites of the same level, such as Huang Jian. Therefore, they did not take Lu Ming seriously at all. They were confident that they could suppress Lu Ming alone, let alone the two of them. Since Lu Ming was hiding in the Phoenix Palace and refused to come out, he would use the challenge to kill him. A month from now, the battle at Phoenix Lake will begin. Everyone please. Lu Ming waved his sleeves, turned around and left. The WN family and the Golden Crow clan had also left. However, they still sent people to monitor the Phoenix Palace, afraid that Lu Ming would sneak away. "Has it been 25 days? Lu Ming muttered. "That's right. Other people usually wake up within 10 days when they come to the Divine Ability Jade Wall. I only woke up within 20 days. I didn't expect you to wake up 5 more days than me. How is it? How's the effect?" Guangling asked. "Not bad. Furthermore, I've also made a breakthrough in my cultivation without realizing it." Lu Ming smiled. He realized that while he was quietly comprehending the Chaos Finger Tribulation, he had made a breakthrough and reached the great mastery of the Bright Saint stage. The true divine power Jade Wall is truly wondrous. It's a pity that one only has one chance in his life. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. And NBSP, after 25 days of comprehension, His primal chaos tribulation finger had increased from 18% to 33%, a full 15%. It was extremely difficult to improve a sacred art. It required a lot of time to understand it, especially in the later stages. Many of the older generation and absolute saints would take thousands or even tens of thousands of years to increase their cultivation by 10%. As for the primal chaos tribulation finger, it was even more difficult to level it up. It was several times more difficult than ordinary divine power techniques with nomological laws as the foundation. It would save Lu Ming a lot of time if he could increase the level by 15%. However, everyone only had one chance to use the divine power jade wall. It would be ineffective the second time. Otherwise, it would be heaven-defying. Are you confident in dealing with the sixth prince of the Golden Crow and the 10,000 celestial soldiers? Huang Ling asked. Of course. Why are you so concerned about me? Lu Ming smiled. You're my friend. Of course I care. Huang Ling's face turned red. Then he walked out. Lu Ming smiled and followed Huang Ling out of the cave. He then returned to his residence. There were still 5 days left for him to consolidate his cultivation and cultivate the 10,000 soldiers scroll. With the increase in his cultivation, he could seal even more saint weapons. Lu Ming took out a great holy weapon and started to seal it. In a secret chamber of the Wan family, Wan Tianbing was also sealing his saint weapon. The only difference was that he wasn't sealing a great saint weapon, but an absolute saint weapon. His entire body glowed, and a spot of light was extremely resplendent. Beside him, an old man sat cross-legged, emitting a terrifying aura. This person was an emperor-level expert. An absolute saint weapon floated in the elder's hand. He was helping the 10,000 celestial soldiers seal the weapon. The celestial soldiers couldn't seal an absolute saint weapon at all. Their bodies would be torn apart by the weapon chi, but with the help of an emperor, it was a different story. Emperor-level experts could help him consolidate his acupoints and help him seal ultimate holy weapons. 2 days later, the 10,000 celestial weapon was successfully sealed into a holy weapon. Although I've successfully sealed the divine weapon for you, the absolute saint weapon is too powerful. You can't use it for too long, or it'll be harmful to your body. You have to use it carefully. The emperor-level old man instructed. Yes, ancestor. Wan Tianbing bowed and acknowledged, a sharp glint flashing in his eyes. Lu Ming was dead for sure this time. He had no chance at all. At the same time, the sixth prince of the Golden Crow was also undergoing some sort of secret training. This time, the news of Lu Ming's battle with the sixth prince of the Golden Crow and Wan Tianbing had spread throughout the entire ancient Moon Holy Land. The cause and effect had also been dug out by people, and the news was spreading like wildfire. Many people were paying attention to it. Lu Ming had cultivated the Wan family's 10,000 soldiers art. Lu Ming had stripped the ninth prince of the Golden Crow of all his feathers. This was the cause of the conflict. Therefore, the Wan family and the Golden Crow clan paid special attention to this. They could only win, they could not lose. A few days later, the appointed day arrived. The wings flapped and the divine Helios fire cut through the void like a blade, slashing toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a step on the surface of the lake and charged toward the sixth prince of the Golden Crow like a bolt of lightning. His palm was like a blade as he slashed out. Instantly, the flaming blades shattered. Lu Ming's palm did not stop and collided with the wings of the sixth prince of the Golden Crow. Bang! It was as if 2 giant mountains had collided, creating a terrible shock. The powerful force immediately caused thousands of waves in Phoenix Lake. Kill. Great Sun, destroy the world. The sixth prince of the Golden Crow shouted. The fire of the great sun burned all over his body, and even the space was distorted. His body shrank into a ball, as if he had really turned into a sun, and he smashed it toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's chaos laws circulated all over his body as he used the prison-suppressing heavenly art. He turned his palm into a fist and punched out continuously. Each punch seemed to have a prison-suppressing steel. This was the sixth prince of the Golden Crow's divine power, and its power had reached 40%. The power of a sacred art at 40% completion was absolutely terrifying. Once this move was used, no matter how many ordinary Great Circle Bright Saints came, they would all die and be burned to ashes. Ordinary Great Saints, if their superpower technique was not well practiced, would also have to retreat and not dare to take it head-on. Chaos Finger. The laws of chaos circulated on Lu Ming's body and he pointed his finger. The laws of chaos in the world were being controlled. Endless energy gathered at Lu Ming's finger. The energy within a 100-mile radius seemed to have been sucked dry in an instant. A huge finger, like the finger of a god, was pointed at the Golden Crow's sixth crown prince. His finger collided with the scorching sun in the air. At this moment, a dazzling light burst out in the sky, making it so that people couldn't open their eyes. Some of the weaker cultivators even shed tears from the light. Boom. Then, there was an explosion like the explosion of a sun. The chaotic finger of tribulation continued to strike forward and heavily hit the body of the sixth Golden Crow Prince. The sixth Prince of the Golden Crow let out a blood-curdling screech as his body was sent flying far away. His blood splattered across the Phoenix Lake, and golden feathers filled the sky. The sixth Prince of the Golden Crow was severely injured. Just as Lu Ming pointed with the finger of tribulation of chaos, he stepped into the void, surrounded by his holy weapon, and rushed toward Wan Tianbing. 10,000 celestial soldiers charged at Lu Ming as well. Both of them used the 10,000 soldiers' art. Their battle soldier chi gathered and collided fiercely with each other. A beam of battle soldier chi shot up into the sky like a pillar of light, reflecting the light from the exploding sun. Kill, die! Lu Ming shouted. The divine sword technique burst out and two sword gleams shot out from his eyes. Although geniuses like Wan Tianbing had very powerful soul power and had soul-protecting treasures, Lu Ming's cultivation had improved and his soul power had become stronger. He would still have an impact on his opponent. Wan Tianbing's eyes showed a trace of pain as he thrust the divine sword technique. Buzz! Lu Ming wielded his great holy weapon-grade combat sword and slashed at Wan Tianbing. Wan Tianbing roared in anger and counterattacked with all his might, slashing out a sword light. The two swords clashed, causing the sky to buzz. Then, a figure retreated quickly. It was Wan Tianbing. He was suppressed by Lu Ming in a head-on confrontation. Kill! Lu Ming continued to charge at Wan Tianbing with an imposing aura and a murderous aura that soared to the sky. Wan Tianbing used all his strength to counterattack. Clang, clang, clang! The great saint's sword in his hand suddenly slashed backward. Now, there were 6 great saint weapons sealed in Lu Ming's body. The power was terrifying. With one sword strike, a shrill scream rang out, accompanied by golden feathers flying in the air. One of the wings of the 6th Golden Crow Prince had been cut off by Lu Ming. The 6th Prince of the Golden Crow was already injured by Lu Ming, so he was naturally no match for him. The Golden Crow's 6th Prince paled in fright and flapped his remaining wing desperately to retreat. Chaos Finger! Lu Ming waved his hand and kept the Golden Crow's 6th Prince's wing. Then he pointed his finger at the Golden Crow's 6th Prince. A terrifying finger pointed at the Golden Crow's 6th Prince. The Golden Crow's 6th Prince was horrified and tried to escape with all his might, but it was too late. The finger of tribulation of chaos was approaching him at an extreme speed. At this time, a golden light flashed and struck the chaos finger of tribulation, directly breaking it and allowing the 6th Golden Crow Prince to escape. It was an old man from the Golden Crow clan who had saved the 6th Prince. How despicable! Mu Qingsu's words were straightforward, and her voice resounded throughout the entire venue. The expert from the Golden Crow clan coldly glanced at Mu Qingxue and didn't say anything. Lu Ming cast a cold glance at the Golden Crow tribe. He did not pursue the 6th Prince of the Golden Crow but looked at Wan Tianbing. At this moment, Wan Tianbing's eyes were bloodshot, and he was covered in blood. This was not Lu Ming's blood, but his own. He had been torn out by the backlash of the Absolute Saint weapon, and the backlash was getting stronger and stronger. The 10,000 celestial soldiers could no longer withstand it. Suddenly, Wan Tianbing's body trembled and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. His aura quickly withered. Kill! How could Lu Ming miss such an opportunity? The Tai Chi formation disc floated above his head. With a combat sword in hand, he charged at Wan Tianbing. Wan Tianbing could only barely raise his battle axe to block in front of him. Clang! Wan Tianbing's body was sent flying like a cannonball. He couldn't even hold the battle axe in his hand. The battle axe shook and flew out of his hand. Lu Ming stepped into the void and swept up his saint energy, sweeping Wan Tianbing's battle axe over and storing it in his storage ring. At the same time, he continued to attack Wan Tianbing with his combat sword. Wan Tianbing was suffering from a terrifying backlash. His physical body was about to be torn apart and he was severely injured. How could he withstand Lu Ming's attack? No! Wan Tianbing roared. Enough! An elder from the Wan family stepped out and waved his hand. A ray of saint power wrapped around Wan Tianbing like a ribbon and pulled him behind him. Then, a cold light flashed in his eyes as he struck out with his palm. Chapter 1761 Confrontation. The huge palm print did not stop and continued to crash down, clashing with the primal chaos finger of tribulation. The chaotic tribulation finger emitted chaotic light and was extremely powerful. However, Lu Ming's cultivation was still too weak. He could not withstand the palm print and collapsed. However, after continuous resistance, the other party's palm print had been weakened by a large extent. The remaining power of the palm continued to blast toward Lu Ming. Block it! Lu Ming retreated while resisting with all his might. More than 100 saint weapons floated in front of him. A layer of dragon scales appeared on the surface of his body. The laws of chaos flowed on the dragon scales. Boom! The palm force swept across and crushed everything. Lu Ming's body trembled violently and he retreated 1,000 meters. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. A cold glint flashed in the eyes of the elder from the Wan family. His palm strike did not kill Lu Ming, but only injured him. He slashed out with his palm. This time, it was a ray of sword light that shocked the 9 heavens and seemed to be able to break through everything. At this moment, a phoenix's cry rang out. A ray of light flew out and blocked the sword light. The Wn family's experts looked at Phoenix Palace and said coldly, "What? Is Phoenix Palace trying to stop me? Nonsense. The Golden Crow clan is shameless, but the Wan family is even more shameless. The younger generation can't win against Lu Ming, so you directly attack the older generation. How despicable!" Mu Qingxue directly cursed. "Shut up!" The Wn clan's expert berated. "Shut up? You're despicable and shameless, yet you don't allow others to say it." Mu Qingxue called out. The power behind Mu Qingxue was also very powerful, so he didn't fear the Wan family at all. Kinks is right. A month ago, Lu Ming challenged Wan Tianbing and the 6th Prince of the Golden Crow to a battle in front of everyone. This was a battle between the younger generation, and it was a battle of life and death. But now, not only did you save Wan Tianbing, but you also attacked Lu Ming. Isn't this too much? Huang Ling continued. It's not just too much, it's simply shameless. Just now, when Wan Tianbing had the upper hand, he shouted to kill Lu Ming. When Wan Tianbing was no match for him, the elders came to save him. They even attacked Lu Ming directly. This is the Wan family style. I've really learned something, Long Chen said coldly. After being ridiculed by a few juniors, the Wan family's expert's face turned dark and extremely ugly. After that, the Wan family's powerhouse looked at Lu Ming and chided, "Brat, hand over that absolute saint weapon, battle axe, and I'll spare your life." "Spare me? Ha, what a joke." Lu Ming laughed and stepped forward in the air, facing the Wan family's powerhouse. "I never thought that a Holy Land force like the Wan family would be so shameless. How can such a force be called a Holy Land force? What a joke. Today, I'm going to fight with Wan Tianbing and the 6th Prince of the Golden Crow. If I'm no match for them, I'll just be killed. But if they're no match for me, you have no right to interfere. Besides, that battle axe is my trophy. What right do you have to take it back? Impudent. How dare you insult our Wan family? You're courting death. The Wn family's powerhouse's eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. He took a step forward, and a terrifying aura pressed toward Lu Ming. However, an elder from the Phoenix Palace also stepped forward and blocked the Wan family's experts with his aura. Is Phoenix Palace determined to go against the Wan family? The old man of the Wan family said coldly. Do you think Phoenix Palace will be afraid? An old woman from the Phoenix Palace smiled faintly. Ha, everyone here, in my opinion, it's better to avoid the Wan family and the Golden Crow clan in the future. It's best not to spar with them. If you lose, you'll be humiliated and killed by the other party. If you win, the other party's elders will immediately rush over to kill you. Lu Ming laughed out loud with a strong sense of sarcasm. That's right. In my opinion, in the future, the Wan family and the Golden Crow clan's younger generation should stay at home and not come out. They can't afford to lose it all. Mu Qingxue called out. The Wn family and the Golden Crow clan's faces became gloomier and gloomier. Brat, hand over that wing and well forget about today's matter. At this moment, a powerful being from the Golden Crow race stepped out and looked at Lu Ming with his golden eyes. What a joke. That's my trophy too. I'll roast the Golden Crow's wings tonight. They should be very acted and saved the sixth prince of the Golden Crow and Wan Tianbing. Now they were asking him for his spoils of war. How could Lu Ming hand them over? Delicious. Lu Ming said indifferently. He was unhappy, extremely unhappy. This was an unfair battle. Just as he said, if he was defeated, he would definitely be killed by his opponent. However, when his opponent was defeated, the elder figure of his opponent directly acted and saved the sixth prince of the Golden Crow and Wan Tianbing. Now they were asking him for his spoils of war. How could Lu Ming hand them over? Impudent, you're courting death. All the powerful cultivators of the Golden Crow clan were filled with killing intent. They stepped forward and glared at Lu Ming with cold eyes. In the sky, there were the cries of dragons and elephants. Long Chen stepped through the void and came. Behind him were the experts of the Divine Elephant sect, who were closing in on the experts of the Golden Crow clan. Your Divine Elephant sect also wants to interfere? An expert from the Golden Crow race said, his eyes flashing with solemnness. The Divine Elephant sect's power was extremely terrifying. Even the Golden Crow clan had to be wary. Nonsense. Long Chen's answer was simple, but it showed his attitude. Bang, bang. The powerhouses of the Phoenix Palace stepped into the air and stood in front of Lu Ming. The experts from the four sides began to confront each other. All around, the other cultivators looked on excitedly. Could it be that the four powerful forces were going to war today? Elder, Lu Ming is so talented. He's worth befriending. Moreover, Lu Ming and I are old friends. Yi Dong sent a message to a warrior of the Thunder God sect. The eyes of the Thunder God sect's elder flickered. Then he nodded and transmitted a message to the other Thunder God sect's elders. Then with a flash of lightning, a few elders of the Thunder God sect appeared near the Wan family's experts. A terrifying aura pressed towards the Wan family's people. Wan family, Golden Crow clan, you've gone too far today. An old man from the Thunder God sect said. Chapter 1762 Heavenly Emperor City. Although the remaining Golden Crow tribe was extremely unwilling and wanted to take back the wings of the sixth Golden Crow prince, it was even more impossible for them to do so with only one force left. Lu Ming, the previous crown princes of the Golden Crow clan, are also returning from the Heavenly Emperor City. If you dare to do anything to humiliate the Golden Crow clan, you will die without a doubt. Let's go. An expert from the Golden Crow clan said coldly. Then he turned into sword lights and left with the rest of the Golden Crow clan. The insult he had mentioned to the Golden Crow tribe was, of course, the incident of roasting the Golden Crow's wings that Lu Ming had mentioned earlier. In the blink of an eye, the Wan family and the Golden Crow clan all left and disappeared without a trace. This battle ended just like that, but Lu Ming's name would definitely resound throughout the ancient Moon Holy Land. Lu Ming, not seeing you for many years, you're even stronger. As expected of the divine ruins, number 1. Long Chen said with a smile as he stepped through the air. Many thanks. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Long Chen, then saluted the experts from Phoenix Palace, Divine Elephant Sect, and Thunder God Sect. Lu Ming thanks everyone for your help. I'll remember your kindness in my heart. Ha, nephew Lu Ming, you don't have to be so polite. The WN family and the Golden Crow tribe are too despicable. We just can't stand by and watch. An old man from the Thunder God Sect laughed. He was quite heroic. Lu Ming, let's go for a drink. Yi Dongfang walked over. All right, let's go together. It's my treat today. Lu Ming nodded and smiled. You young people should have a gathering. We old men won't join in. The elder of the Thunder God Sect smiled. Then his figure flickered and he left with the rest of the Thunder God Sect. You guys can go back first. Long Chen ordered the experts of the Divine Elephant Sect. It was obvious that Long Chen's status in the sect was not low. The cultivators of the Divine Elephant Sect nodded and left as well. Finally, the cultivators of the Phoenix Palace also left. In a bustling gathering place in a bustling restaurant, Lu Ming, Long Chen, Feng Ling, Mu Qingxue, Yi Dongfang, and Su Ran sat around a table. The table was already filled with spirit wine and delicacies. Everyone exchanged toasts and ate to their heart's content. Lu Ming, it's been 7 to 8 years since we last met in the Divine Ruins continent. Long Chen drank a few cups in a row and sighed. It had been many years since they had parted. He had originally chosen to join Dragon God Valley like Lu Ming, but he was later captured by the southern deity palace of the Divine Ruins continent and imprisoned for nearly 2 years. In the end, he was rescued by a peerless expert of the Divine Elephant Sect and acknowledged him as his master. Now, he had a respected status in the Divine Elephant Sect. Actually, it's not like we haven't seen each other for 7 or 8 years. Later, I returned to the Divine Ruins and saw you being taken away by the Divine Elephant Sect's powerhouses. Lu Ming said with a smile. You were there too? Long Chen was stunned. Lu Ming nodded and briefly explained how he had snuck into the South God Palace to save Long Chen. Many thanks. Long Chen raised his cup, his eyes filled with gratitude. Ha, you don't have to thank me. It's a good thing that strong cultivators from the Divine Elephant Sect appeared back then. Otherwise, with my cultivation at that time, I wouldn't have been able to save you. Lu Ming smiled. The others were surprised as well. They did not expect Lu Ming and Long Chen to come from the same place. At this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. Then, there was a flash between his eyebrows and the bubble appeared on his shoulder. Damn Lu Ming, stinky Lu Ming.